Hello, it's Matt for Sound on Sound magazine. It's the final day of the NAMM show 2020. We've reached the Roland USA booth, and I'm here with James and what would appear to be a large acoustic drum kit, but in fact it's not. It's the Roland V-Drums acoustic design, the latest V-Drum kit, and we have KJ behind the kit as well, who's going to be demonstrating it for us later. James, can you explain, because when I first saw these, I thought, so Roland have produced a completely ordinary acoustic drum kit that is somehow V-Drums. How does that work?
Well, the look of the drums, it's very important to drummers. We'd like to have the stage presence and something that's kind of familiar to us, and
Sure.
and it certainly is a familiar looking kit, as you alluded to, but yes, it's a completely electronic drum kit. The shells have actually been designed with that in mind. So they're a 2-ply thick poplar, and that kind of deadens the shell, because in electronics you don't want a lot of resonance. That will interfere with the electronic triggering.
Sure.
And so we have a real kind of a nice dead shell, but as you said, they look acoustic, and it's important for drummers. Many of that look, and a lot of the objections we find with drummers is that they love them, they love the sound, they love the capabilities, the ease of them, but they don't like the way they look when they play sometimes. You know, it's just like there's so many different, variables with looks in drums in general. So we wanted to take that out of the equation, make something that's very familiar to drummers, something that looks great, has great stage presence, and that feels great too.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
But okay, so you mentioned that the toms and the snare have quite a dead sound.
Yeah.
But isn't it a concern that when you play in the room, you're going to actually could I just have a listen?
Absolutely. If you put the mic on them, you'll get a sense of how quiet they actually are.
So KJ, if you could play the toms, say, or the drums. Maybe the snare. Thank you.
Like a practice pad.
Well, like a practice pad, as KJ's just said. They sound pretty dead, and pretty much like the V-Drums that we're used to.
They're the same heads on our legendary V-Drums kits. They're mesh heads, and that was designed for volume in mind. Playing in apartments, playing in rooms, and you're able to control all the volume. And it kind of is, like you mentioned, a little visual trick. They look like big, loud drums, but they're very, very quiet.
Excellent. And okay, so having dealt with that, to come to the system itself, I believe the brain of the system is a new unit, the TD27, is that right?
TD27, it's built brand new. We're debuting it here at the show.
Yep.
And it has some great capabilities, including pads that are offered on our flagship TD50 kit in a more kind of affordable price point.
Right.
They're digital pads, so the ride cymbal and the snare drum all communicate with the module via USB.
Sure.
And that gives you impeccable triggering, what we call positional sensing, so the pads know where you're hitting the pad.
Absolutely. It's not just one trigger across the surface.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they're just very quick, no latency, and they're just a joy to play.
And I understand the cymbals are a new design, thinner?
They're thinner, so they take a little less muscle when you're striking them to move, and they feel great because they
bit more like a traditional cymbal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Understood. Well, it looks and sounds great, and I understand there are 3 different iterations of this, 3 different versions.
Yep.
The 307, is that right?
The 306.
The 306.
The 306 is powered by our TD17 module.
With the existing one, yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's a great. It's no rack, similar to these. Little different shell. And then we go up to the 503, and that's a 1 up, 1 down. It's a 10-inch tom with a 14-inch floor tom, snare, ride, 22-inch kick drum, and then the kit that KJ is playing behind me is the 506. So we have the 10, 12, 14.
This is the full system, top of the range.
This is
okay.
And 2 crash cymbals and the ride.
Okay,
so very cool.
Terrific. Well, I guess having heard how they sound acoustically, we should actually hear how they sound electronically.
And he does a great job.
So I guess over to KJ for a bit of a demo. KJ, would you take it away? Thank you.
All right, this is KJ Saka. I want to play one of my tunes called Rising Sun. And at the beginning, I'm going to use some acoustic sounds that are inside the kit. I've tweaked them just slightly. They're insanely tweakable. It's really, really amazing. And then I'm going to go into kind of this dubstep sampled kit on the drop. So here we go.
Thanks, KJ, for that demo. That's excellent. James, it'd be good to talk about pricing and availability.
Sure.
We've got 3 sets, obviously.
Yep.
When can we expect them and how much?
The 503 and the 506 will be available in May.
Right.
So the 503 will start at street at $39.99,
Right.
and the 506 will be $47.99.
Right.
And then the 306 will be available in June,
Right.
and that is coming in at a street price at $24.99.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yep.
James, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
KJ,
much.
thank you very much.